Live from Las Vegas, Nevada. You're watching Shaking It Up with the Sharks. Starring Johnny Richardson and Katie Meadows.
Welcome to Shaking It Up with the Sharks. I'm Johnny Richardson, your host, with the one and only Miss Katie Meadows. And we have Mr. Michael England over here with Fidelity Title. It's going to be an amazing night. We are out of control. Why are you laughing at me right now? Don't tease me. All right, let's make this happen. Let's make it an awesome night. So what's going on, Mike?
Yeah, you know, right now is kind of a crazy time in the real estate industry across the country. But here in Las Vegas, no inventory. Everybody trying to get offers accepted. People paying over asking. Crazy stuff. You know, it's a difficult time to be a buyer's agent, but if you get a listing, you're doing pretty good right now.
Really great. I wasn't going to jump into the work stuff. We'll jump into it right now. So
sorry.
Tell us now. No, that's fine. Because some people want it. Actually, people want to know. So I'm okay with that.
You can introduce Mike and say what at least he does.
Yeah.
Right?
So, thank you. So start running the show.
Go ahead.
Start doing your thing.
Thanks,
right.
Katie. You're right. I would like to talk about myself.
So obviously somebody wants to take over. I'm not doing a good job. It is what it is. Okay? My sweetheart over here. So, but no, 100% real estate market's on fire. It's absolutely crazy right now. And that is the core of what Mike does, because Mike works with hundreds of real estate agents across here in Las Vegas. One of the top reps across the United States with Fidelity Title. Absolutely amazing. I know me, myself, when I jump in and I'm talking, it's always real estate, business, building, whatever else, anything else. But yeah, Katie wants to jump in and find out who Mike is real quick. And who really is, like, who beat you up in third grade? Like, where'd you grow up? What's your story? Like, who is Mike England? How long have you been in Vegas?
I've been in Vegas since 2016, and in the third grade, I was already doing jiu-jitsu, so I was good to go. No, I'm just kidding. I don't even think jiu-jitsu was a thing yet. I did. I watched the very first. I remember this. I'm a UFC fan. Katie and Johnny both know this.
Yes.
They come over and watch UFC with me. But the very first UFC was in Denver, Colorado, and it was in 1993. And I remember it vividly because my dad said, "Hey, there's just going to be this thing. It's UFC. It's real fighting. Watch what happens. 90% of these fights are going to end up on the ground, and they're going to end within 1 to 2 minutes."
Really?
And he was 100% right. And at the time, you didn't have it wasn't called mixed martial arts. Nobody knew what that term would ever be. So it was one style versus another style. So I remember the very first UFC fight ever. You had this large Samoan guy who was a sumo wrestler, right? And he's probably 300-400 pounds, and he's fighting this French kickboxer, Muay Thai kickboxer, and skinny and probably maybe 200 pounds. And they start the fight. Nobody knows what to expect because they've never seen anything like it before. And the sumo comes charging at the guy, and the kickboxer moves to the side, kicks the guy in the shin. The sumo falls on the ground, and then he kicks him in the mouth, and 2 of his teeth fly into the first row. That was knocks him out.
Did anybody catch the teeth? That's what I'm curious about.
I don't know, but I guarantee if you make that into a NFT, a non-fungible token, a digital asset, you could probably make a killing.
Oh, you're 100% right about that one.
Yeah.
So that's the first one.
That's one of Mike's specialties right now, by the way.
Yeah, NFTs. We could talk about that too. But it was crazy. The guy that ended up winning the first one, he actually won like the first 3 out of 4 UFCs, was a pretty small man. He wasn't about 160 pounds. And so he's fighting guys that are 100, 200 pounds larger than him. Royce Gracie. Do you remember that name?
No.
Royce Gracie. So Royce Gracie was the original winner of the UFC. And there's no weight classes. And the crazy thing is his style was Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. after these first few UFCs, and this guy is just choking everyone out, the military started adopting Gracie Jiu-Jitsu as part of their special ops training.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
and now we have Gracie Jiu-Jitsu gyms all across the country. Even here in Las Vegas, we have like 2 or 3. But you have to know Jiu-Jitsu now to pretty much be a professional MMA fighter, because you'll be at such a disadvantage if you don't know how to fight off your back and be able to defend against chokes or be able to submit your other fighters. So fun facts about UFC.
That's pretty intense. I didn't
Yeah.
even know that. Holy crap.
Did Dana White own the UFC back in that day?
No, so at the time it was actually it was a few guys that put it on together. One of them was the grandfather, one of the grandfather Gracie, who's like one of the original, underground fighters. This guy, like older gentleman. And the whole purpose he put it on, and he wanted to put it on, was to prove to the world that Jiu-Jitsu was the best fighting style in the world, and it could beat any other fighting style. That was the whole purpose. So for a long time, they kept putting on these events, and eventually they didn't have very many rules. So
during that time, I remember that. I mean, you could borderline just like take somebody almost to death. Am I correct?
Yeah, you could.
It was pretty.
You could headbutt.
Yeah, I remember being at a fight when I was probably 20 at that point, and I'll never forget this. It was probably an MMA fight, it wasn't UFC. And this guy came down, and the guy just all floated. They didn't stop anything. By the time the guy lifted up his face, I'm talking black. Instantly black. I mean, just like his entire face. You don't see that happen now. They're going to cut it off. Am I right, Mike?
No, you're 100% right. So the rules, there was really none. And the US, most everywhere in the United States banned UFC. And it's actually the guy out of Arizona, what's his name? I can't even think of his name, but the senator of Arizona, he was kind of the guy that spearheaded like banning UFC. And so because of that, they had to go other places to be able to do events. And UFC's value, it wasn't a real profitable company yet. So when Dana White and the Fertittas had bought UFC, I believe in like 2002 maybe, they bought it. I believe their investment was $8 million.
So crazy.
Then they just sold it, like 4 years ago, they sold it for $4 billion.
That's a nice little return right
Yeah. Now it's
myself.
It's a legitimate sport now. It's on ESPN. It is the fastest growing sport. During the pandemic, they were the only ones to continue having events while all the other sports leagues stopped. And even Dana White, this is good for anybody that's watching. I'm sure there's a lot of people that watch that are from Las Vegas. Last week, Dana White actually got blasted in the Review Journal.
Yeah, I did see that.
About having a fight at T-Mobile Arena, Conor McGregor, on July 10th, and Dustin Poirier. They plan on having a full crowd in attendance.
Yeah.
And so the Review Journal said he was irresponsible. And Dana White said, hey, I'm one of the only guys that was able to keep all my people employed during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And we've been safe and we haven't had any issues. And so he was pretty upset with the Review Journal. He actually had a much more choice words than that, but he pretty much told people.
He had said anybody that subscribes to the journal is not invited.
Is not invited. Don't bother coming. Says don't bother coming. Don't bother coming to my event.
Yeah.
This is pretty recent news. So Vegas, it's always crazy here. Which brings us, we moved out here in 2016, and being somebody, and just like Johnny, being from the East Coast, I grew up in Seattle. So my idea of Las Vegas was the Strip. But once I moved out here, I found out there was much more than just the Strip. There is a culture, there's a lifestyle, to Las Vegas that I really love. And a lot of people, I have 3 kids, so people thought I was crazy for moving my
to
family with
like, why are you going to Vegas when you have kids?
when you have kids.
You got the city, you got strip clubs, you got the casino, all kinds of chaos.
Everything,
like
right?
They're going to hold you back.
But you know what's interesting about that? And I don't say, like, we don't take our kids to all these places, obviously, or expose them to that, but the city naturally exposes your children to things that they wouldn't be exposed to in other cities. But what I'll tell you is my kids are not like shocked by anything, and in some ways they it kind of prepares them for almost like they're just numb to anything that's thrown their way. I could take my kids anywhere and not think twice. Like it doesn't faze them, it doesn't tempt them, it doesn't, like, none of that is really and maybe I'm naive to think that, but so far so good. I got 3 teenagers, and they don't even think twice about anything like that. But that's so little of a part of Vegas. That's just the tourism, the strip part, and then outside of that, there's just an amazing city. And
what else does your family do outside of the city?
You know what? We like to travel. So, both me and my wife, Jocelyn, who also works for Fidelity, we love to go on trips, cruises. We love cruising. And the reason we like cruises is because when we run so hard in our job, it's nice to be able to go somewhere where you don't have to worry about driving anywhere. You can't answer your phone half the time because you're on a boat in the middle of the water. And so it forces us to just kind of put everything away and just focus on spending time together and just enjoying our time and relaxing.
Where's your favorite cruise at?
We've done Alaska. We've done Mexico a couple times, the Bahamas a few times. But the best one was we did a Mediterranean European cruise.
Awesome. That was pretty awesome.
That was awesome. So we went to Barcelona.
The water was like glass, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, it was amazing, and more than the water, it was the culture. I call cruising like it's kind of like the buffet of travel. For me to go into a city, I'm not the kind of guy, I get bored real easy. So if I go into a city and spend a week there, I'm gonna start to run out of things to do, or just not be. I don't want to go to the museum 2, 3, all these museums or whatever.
They just get better and better.
Yeah, I don't know.
The second time.
Right?
The second time is always better.
So I'd rather just get a glimpse of each city.
Yeah.
And so with this one, it was cool because we went to Barcelona for a few days, and we did a bunch of things in Barcelona, and then we went to Rome. And we actually didn't have enough time in Rome, so there is a lot you can do in Rome, but we did most of the main things. We went to the Colosseum.
Well, how was that? Was it pretty cool?
It was pretty amazing. I mean, we got a new stadium here in Las Vegas.
So it's like Coliseum itself, right?
Yeah, it is.
It's like when you come into Vegas and fly in, it's like beam and light. Like
the Death Star, looks like something out of Star Wars. But yeah, to think that they built something like that long ago is amazing. The other part that we really liked is, we did a Tuscany wine tour.
Oh, that's fun.
And that was pretty awesome to be able to go into this vineyard and be able to experience that, and more than just the wine. The wine was amazing, but it was all the cheeses and the meats and the olive oil and just
take it easy, Mike.
I know. I'm sorry. It's amazing.
Wine and cheese.
I know. Yeah, definitely. It sounds amazing. Yeah, we're making a call to that.
Which our owner of our company would appreciate. Bill Foley actually owns Foley Johnson. He now has a Ferrari Carano vineyard.
And that was at the Southern Highlands Golf Course last week, right?
Yeah. So we were at the country club last week. They had an event, and Foley Johnson was one of the wine vendor.
Yeah.
The pretty good stuff. They have great wine. No complaints here. We get some pretty cool little perks, with that.
No, you definitely do over at Fidelity, 100%. So you just quite a bit. You have that going on. Plus you have T-Mobile with the Golden Knights going on, correct?
Yeah.
As well.
And it's almost playoff time. So, the part that's interesting is we've had a reduced capacity at the stadium. So we haven't been able to have as many tickets for employees than we typically do, but now they're going to increase attendance for playoff time. So that's going to be exciting. So I'll definitely.
When is that exactly?
I'm hearing May 1st.
Trying to get an idea when I can get a seat. That's a story here.
Johnny wants
I've
to know
been
when he
waiting.
can get his tickets. That's what
My
he's ready
seat's
for.
been warming up for a minute.
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like 50%, I believe, is May 1st.
That's awesome. And then June 1st, maybe 100%.
Maybe 100%, which would be like if I
we
mean
have
the
the
nights are
vaccine,
great.
card.
We're talking like they could be a Stanley Cup again. I mean, they're the #1 hockey team right now, so that'll carry us into June, which would be awesome to have that great time too with the city opening up. I mean, the Strip right now is just, it's busy.
Yeah.
Well, Vegas is back.
Yeah,
it's busy. It's
not
exciting.
Well, if you look at it right outside the window here, it's like all the lights are on, everything else. You don't see the cars as much right now. Las Vegas Boulevard's been a mess normally when we looked at outside this window, but it's been absolutely nuts. So if you normally, well, I shouldn't say normally, over the last year, if you go down on a Friday, Saturday, it's jam-packed. But I drove by last week, and it was a Wednesday, it was a Tuesday.
Yeah, every day was packed.
And it's like you can't even drive down the boulevard.
Yeah.
So, I want to say the same, but pretty close
Pretty
to it.
much.
Yeah, what about when you went to T-Mobile? Was it like jam-packed getting in there?
You know, it was. It almost felt like it used to, which is amazing, you know, as far as big crowds, lots of people, you know, walking around the city, filling up restaurants, that kind of stuff. It's not open 100% yet, but it's really coming along and it's coming back. And the exciting part to bring it back to real estate is we're already super hot real estate market in Las Vegas. Wait till all these people, they're getting their jobs back and they start working for 6 months, a year. I mean, how the demand in this city, if you have the opportunity and you're lucky enough to be able to buy a home in Las Vegas, you just struck gold because the value of that home is going to greatly increase. Everybody's waiting for this correction, or they think that there's going to be a bubble in Las Vegas. I'm telling you, this thing is not stopping. The inventory is going to continue to be low, and the prices are going to continue to go high.
I agree with Mike.
So, no, I'm with you 100%. If there is a correction, when do you think that would be?
You know,
what's your opinion?
I think that we could possibly see a correction in a few years. But Vegas is kind of a weird anomaly where we have all these people that we're going to be hiring. The city's going to be hiring all these people with Resorts World and all these other things opening up. And we're going to have
Sphere right around the corner as well.
That as well.
Yeah.
You have more jobs coming through. You have California. More and more people continue to move here from California. You have the hedge funds buying properties here like crazy. I don't know if we're going to see a correction in Las Vegas. It's hard to predict that because our market is going to be high. If you can be lucky enough to own a property in Las Vegas and sit on it for 5-10 years. You're gonna that thing's gonna appreciate.
No matter what, and this isn't soliciting right now, but it's just it almost feels that way that people would say that, but it is the truth. Even as people feel our market's high, either way you buy it at this moment, you're going to be in a good position. Either way.
Las Vegas continues to grow.
It definitely does. What blows my mind is like we have California coming over in the busload like every single day.
Yep.
It's like nonstop. And if you go to California right now and you drive through LA, it's not thinning out. I mean, even with as many people that are coming over here, including Texas as well, it just like it's not thinning out of there. They're like moving over piece by piece.
Yeah.
But like in our city, we're just seeing it. There's a massive movement, and like you said, also at the same time, you are competing with hedge funds out there as well. You know, the investors coming in, they're spending money, they're buying properties, they're taking advantage of the market. It is what it is. It's all part of what's happening in real estate right now.
Absolutely.
It absolutely is. So if you can get your hands on something, grab it, kind of like cryptocurrency years ago.
It is. Oh man, yeah. Still cryptocurrency. Yeah. That
Cryptocurrency hasn't taken a dive.
No, it's still volatile, and I'll tell you what, if it goes in dips, and I'm not suggesting throw all your money at cryptocurrency, but if you do have the opportunity, you might want to consider it because everybody thought that Bitcoin, they didn't know how high Bitcoin would get, and so. I remember when it dipped down a few years ago, back down to about 3,000 a Bitcoin, and everyone was like, yeah, it's overhyped, it's overrated, it's not going to get to what everybody thought it was going to get to. and then it kept going up to 20, to 30, to 40. We got all the way up to 60. I think it's sitting today about 52,000, and it could dip a little bit again, but I'm telling you what, if it gets under 40,000 again, I don't know if we're going to see Bitcoin ever get that low again. I could see it getting up to 100,000 a Bitcoin at some point. So, you know, there is a lot of crazy things happening because of inflation and all these things that people are trying to find ways to put different things to put their money in to be able to take advantage of the inflation and be able to make some money. And there's going to be a lot of those opportunities. And I know we talked a little bit, we could do a whole segment on it, so I don't want to get into it too deep, but NFTs is another thing where these digital assets, people are throwing money into that, and there's a whole market for that too. And I don't even completely get what it is.
It's almost,
but, you know, but it's
I
nuts.
mean, all these markets have been created. Some of them created, some of them have exploded throughout the time of COVID, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, 2019 to 2020 when we hit COVID and everything else. And it's just absolutely insane. Like I mentioned to you the other night, you can actually buy digital real estate online with cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
So which my brain doesn't wrap around that. Somebody would have to, if they sat down and walked me through it, I probably still wouldn't. I don't get it.
What are you gonna do with
me
digital
personally,
real estate?
yeah. Well, you live in it. Come on. What do you think you do
You
with
put
a
your
house?
you put your digital pet in it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That you pay 10 grand for.
Digital Sharpie?
I'm just, yeah, exactly. That'd be crazy. So I'd be a virus running through.
I know, yeah.
So I think it's just another place to move money to at the end of the day. But you're 100% right. What do you do with it at the end of the day? But also at the same time, we're at a party. It was about 2 weeks ago. Friend of ours, crazy party. It was just absolutely nuts of stuff going on. But it was a good time at the end of the day. And we met this guy. He starts talking. We're having drinks. I'm like, this sounds interesting. The same people thought the same thing about Bitcoin years ago.
Yep.
They're like something.
Yep.
So 2012, remember, it was brought up to me the first time.
Yeah.
I'm like, this sounds kind of stupid. I remember Steve Kissel, one of my old managers in timeshare. He goes, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard of. I remember this. It was like $500, whatever it was. And I was like, man, if I could go back in time right now and put on whatever. But it could be the same thing right now with digital real estate.
Yeah.
It might be we're having this conversation 10 years from now.
Yeah.
And thank God I got some digital real estate.
So what you're saying is that we should take our money right now and invest it into
Possibly.
Yeah.
I think a shot's a shot at the end of the day. What's the worst thing that can happen?
Yeah.
You always can make money again, but you can never go get that opportunity to reinvest again.
Yeah.
Right or wrong. No.
It's true. Well, you know, it's interesting. I think people are a lot more aware because they feel like they missed it with Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people are willing to take a little more of a risk. My suggestion is if you got the money to risk and invest, that's fine. But if you're expecting to go to the moon, you know, that's a term we hear a lot with cryptocurrency, with like Dogecoin, for instance, which is a total like weird thing. But like people think like this is their get rich scheme, that this is going to be what puts them over the top. And if you're expecting that and you're going to throw all your money at that, that's a dangerous game as well.
Yeah.
I would tell you any money that you do make, try to reinvest that in actual real estate. There's still a lot of safety in actual real estate. The stock market, you can do that the right way too to be able to protect yourself. I'm a little bit of a gambler, so I do like to try a few different things out.
Yeah.
And you know, most of the time,
So he's gambling on the fights every time.
every
Yes.
time.
We
won.
We made some money with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should put more in.
We should have. We were too
should have put
conservative.
more in.
Yeah.
We were way
Yeah.
too conservative.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, you don't like to take as many risks as me. I would have put a lot in if you would have let me.
I would have let you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You were the one that predicted Rose.
Yeah, when's the next
She
fight?
predicted Rose.
I love UFC.
The next pay-per-view is like in a month.
Okay, there you go.
Like in a month. So there you
Big
go.
bucks.
Yeah.
We're going to
Yeah.
drain out the bank account on that one. We're just going to put it on black and rock and roll with it. No, the opportunity out there is absolutely crazy right now. I mean, like, think back like 10 years ago, period, forget about Bitcoin, everything else. If you would imagine like this is happening right now, it would be mind-blowing. You wouldn't be able to even wrap your mind around it.
Yeah.
You'd be like, you know, this pandemic's going to happen. Real estate's going to go through the roof. There'll be these crazy opportunities. And he'd be like, no effing way.
Yeah, no way.
It wouldn't happen. Yeah, but it is happening. So it just shows you like anything is possible out there. And take a look at things in a serious manner at the end of the day.
Yeah.
As crazy as they sound, whether it's digital real estate, who knows what they'll have in 6 months from now.
Yeah, no kidding.
Digital bodies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Get your digital body.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be like that Bruce
Buy your
Willis.
digital island.
Yeah, Bruce Willis movie back in the day when you're like getting in your body and running around and everything else. I know Katie doesn't watch movies; she has no idea what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, it's absolutely nuts as far as what's out there. And yes, at the same time, bringing us back to real estate, it's like our real estate market's totally out of control. Like you talk to people like thousands of realtors, hundreds of realtors across the valley, and even some outside of Las Vegas as well.
Yeah.
Me personally, it's like I feel like we get hit harder here in Vegas because of California traffic. But period, no matter what state you're living in, everybody's having the same conversations.
Yeah.
I went to an event in California. It was the same conversation.
Yeah,
Everybody.
everywhere.
There's people from West Virginia. There's people from Miami. There's people from Washington State. And they're all low inventory. Low inventory.
Yep.
And this is not a complaint by any means. It's almost crazy. The scenario that we're in is the best way to say it. It's just like craziness happened. And it's like everybody grabbing it. Everybody running. And me personally, I think part of that's human nature. I think everybody wants what they can't get to. They're like, oh, my neighbor Jeff, he got that. I want to get that too.
Yeah.
I want to keep up with the Joneses. I want to do this. Oh, he got that. I should run after it too. Because you did see it. If you take a look at it throughout the year, I was looking at this the other day. All of a sudden, it started peaking up. And you could, when you're in real estate enough, I'm sure you can agree, is you almost get a heartbeat for it. It's like this thing's about to like explode.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it's like boom, out of control.
Yeah, I would tell you like about August, I knew about the month of August that, you know, we're all waiting for the shoe to drop. And I go, it's not happening.
Yeah.
This thing's going to continue to stay hot.
Yeah.
And part of it is the builders weren't building nearly enough and creating enough inventory.
It's true, 100%.
And now with the super crazy increase of lumber costs, like by 300%, you know, I don't know how much more builders are going to build right now. And so it's really kind of creating this slowdown that's going to cause these prices to continue to inflate and increase across the board, across the country. There's still some markets that are great investment opportunities. Vegas, it's just so competitive to try to invest in right now. I'm not saying you can't find a deal, but man, it's a competitive. You really got to hunt. You got to work it.
Yeah, you will. Yeah, it's not just kind of dip your toe in the pool.
No.
It's like take off the bathing suit,
Get ready to ride them off.
take off the life preserver, and dive in with the sharks, baby.
Get ready to ride them off.
Yeah, 100%. That's what it's about. You got to go out there. I thought about the other day, like doing a funny video and like bringing in some folks in, and what would happen is you come in for a buyer's consultation, lay out some grenades, some guns, some knives, because we're going to battle, folks. It's time to go to battle. Because what it is out there.
It is a war.
At the same time, anything that you want in life, you're going to work for it.
Yeah.
So period. It doesn't matter. Real estate, it's an aggressive market right now. If you want something bigger, you want a bigger house, you want a bigger condo, whatever it might be, you want something bigger and better. In life, you have to fight for it, period.
Yeah.
This is just the scenario that we're in now. We don't control, the real estate agents don't control in Vegas. It's actually the public that controls at the end of the day.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so it's like, it's in the scenario that we're at. So with that in mind, it's just go out there, go to battle, get your house, get your investment, whatever it might be. Mm-hmm. They are out there, but you got to work harder for it.
Yeah.
True.
And then we got to work harder for it too at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, we work from job to job. Once we sell a house, we're fired. Now we're looking for another job.
Yeah.
Got another job.
Yeah,
Good,
that's
we're good.
true.
Yeah.
That's
Go
true.
through ASCO. Oh, just got fired.
Yeah.
Now got another one. You know what I mean? It is.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
It's what happens. Definitely. So it's super awesome. What can you say? So next 3 years, it's going to be on fire. I can't agree with you anymore. I think even then, because in order for us to see any kind of correction the inventory would have to like spike up. We'd have to all of a sudden get to 3,000 homes on the market, to 4,000, to 5,000, to 6,000. Since I've been in real estate over the last few years, we've been on a low inventory period, and now we're at a super low inventory.
Yep.
So let's say, this is the way I see it, if there was any correction, let's say right now, let's say there was, tomorrow, we woke up, it was chaos. It would take all this time for this inventory to build up.
So true.
It would.
It'd take a long time.
It would take 6 months at least. By the time that 6 months hit, and whatever corrected, whether it was in the mortgage market, what you name it, the list goes on and on. By the time that happened, we would hit an even inventory, and then we back to a normal market, and we'd be back to average prices at that point, and then we'd just be normal. There would be no correction. It wouldn't exist.
Nope.
Yeah, so everybody that I talk to and have conversations with, we're waiting for, and by the way, since I've been in real estate, I've heard people say it almost every day. They're like,
we're going to wait. We're going to wait.
We're going to wait. There's going to be a correction.
So they've been waiting for a while.
They're going to be waiting for a long time.
Yeah,
you know?
100%.
Yeah.
No offense, just some people are like that. There's different personality types. Some people are more technical and structured. It's just the way their mind wraps around it. It is what it is. You make your bed, you sleep on it at the end of the day. But me personally, I couldn't agree with you more, Mike. It just like, it's rock and rolling. I don't say that because we're in that industry. If anything, if it softens up, it actually makes our jobs easier. Am I right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. If it softened up and you didn't have to make as many offers as you're having to help one person find a home, it would night and day make your guys' job 10 times easier. So you would love for it to soften up a little bit.
And I tell clients all the time, I'm like, if it softens up, every realtor is going to be in line. They want to buy houses. Other people, you don't think we would like that to happen? That we'd like an opportunity? We have to deal with the same thing they do. It's not like we have this secret stash in the back. It's like, hey, we got 10 extra houses. It just doesn't happen that way. No, 100% not. So we have Michael England here, amazing gentleman. I tell you what, this guy is knowledgeable. Obviously, as you can see tonight, UFC, so you know he's a fighter, 100%. He knows,
Watch out for Mike.
He knows market, he knows cryptocurrency, and obviously he's on today's show. He knows title out the gazoo, and amazing, and just Jocelyn isn't here tonight. Amazing partner. They do an amazing job out there, help educate, get realtors from one level to where they're producing 2-3 deals a month up to 5, 6, 8, 9, 10 deals a month. Am I lying?
Yeah.
That's what we do.
No, that is 100%. Take some new levels. So Mike, tell us, like, if a realtor wants to reach out to you, a business partner, somebody out of state, in state, how they get a hold of you?
Yeah, so we do out of state as well. We do commercial now as well. So we've gotten some large commercial clients in other parts of the country. So no matter what it is you're trying to do in real estate, you can reach out to me at 253-225-9597, and I would love to help you out. And I'm always solutions based, so I may not always have the answer right away, but Johnny and Katie know this. I always find a solution. I always try to find a way to solve your problems. I treat, even though I'm in the title business, the people I partner with, I'm just another part of their real estate team, and helping them try to get inventory and more options for buyers to be able to shop for that perfect home.
Now, I'll tell you what, if you think of one word when it comes to Mike, it would be the connector. So if I had a Rolodex and one name and I flipped it, it would say Michael England, everybody. 100%. The connector. He does. When I give him a call, I'm like, hey, I got an issue with this, whatever it might be. He's like, I got a guy. I got this guy. Let me make one call, and I'm going to call you right back. Because Katie and myself, not tech savvy, not like even production based, what you're seeing right now. All this stuff comes together because of relationships, because of people like Mike.
Yes.
100%. So I couldn't thank you more for the help you provide for the Richardson Group and help the Sharks swim through the water, baby, making it happen. So you heard one more time how they get a hold of you?
253-225-9597. Call, text. smoke signal, carrier pigeon, whatever works for you.
There you go. You heard it. Shaking it up with the Sharks tonight with Fidelity Title, Mr. Michael England in house. Thank you for joining us for another amazing show, and we'll see you soon, folks.
Bye, guys.